Hey foodies, thanks for watching. I want to show you how to make a 5-cheese mac and cheese with crab. I can't wait to sink my teeth into this. And we want to start by making a bechamel. And a bechamel is just a simple white sauce. So over here, I'm going to turn on my stove and I'm going to get my butter melting. And while that's melting, I'm going to grab some salt and I'm going to season my pasta water pot. You can see it's just starting to, there we go, a good tablespoon into that. And if you leave the lid on, it'll boil a little bit faster. And you can see that's just starting to boil, to cook down. And I'm going to grab my whisk. So you can see the last remnants of the butter has started to melt. I'm going to add in my flour and I'm going to whisk that up. Okay, we're getting a nice sauce. And now that that's all melted and blended in together, I'm going to add in my milk. You want to keep whisking. I'm going to turn the heat down to low. And I'm adding the milk little by little just so that I can keep any clumps from forming under control. That looks good. I can probably add the rest of my milk. Okay, go around the edges. I'm going to turn it back up just a tiny bit. And keep on whisking. And you can see it's starting to thicken, which is nice. And I'm going to switch to a spatula. Just to keep everything from sticking. It's looking good. And while I'm waiting for these things to do their thing, I'm going to start my oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius. And I'm going to use just the middle rack. Okay, so I can see my pasta water is come to a boil. And I'm going to add that. I'm going to give that a stir, making sure that none of my noodles stick. And then I'm going to turn that down once it reaches a boil. And that's in for 7 minutes. And you can see this is thickened up really nicely. Okay, so I'm going to turn this front burner off. Because I think that is plenty thick enough. I'm going to add my crab meat. Let's get all of that good stuff in there. And I'm going to start with half of my Parmigiano Reggiano, half of my Emmental, Gruyere, half of my 5-year-old cheddar. There's a lot of cheese here. Half of my Jarlsberg, and half of my marble. I'm just going to stir this up so the cheese starts to melt. I think we need to add a little bit of salt and pepper to this. So I'll get my pepper mill. And my salt. Look at that, that's beautiful. Just drippy and sticky looking, and it's all melting and congealing. It's looking really good. So I'm gonna move those there. I'm gonna get my casserole dish ready. And I need let's give this a stir. Oh yeah, it's starting to stick a little bit. So I want to give it a stir. So it looks like the pasta is done. I'm going to shut that off. I'm going to put my pot in the sink. We're going to dump most of the water into that sieve. And I've retained about maybe a quarter cup or so. I'll add a bit more. Dump the noodles back in. Okay. Actually, let's put this over here. Then we can decorate and do everything up. So now we're going to add our bechamel and cheese and crab sauce. I bet that would be a really good dip with chips and pretzels and things. Okay. So I'm going to mix this up. Oh, this looks so good. It smells really good. So at this point, you can add the rest of the cheese, you can add whatever you want, and just eat it. But I want to take it to the next level. And that's where the casserole dish comes in nicely, because we're going to put the whole thing into a casserole dish. Whew. I still might be eating some. Oh, if my mother was here, she'd be so jealous. Oh, look at all that lovely sauce. Okay. right across the top. And then I've got some breadcrumbs here. We're going to sprinkle some breadcrumbs. They offer a good, wholesome crunch. These are gluten-free breadcrumbs from some bread that I made in a previous episode. Oh, this looks good. It smells delightful. Okay. And I thought, why not some crunched up chips to go on top. I mean, if you're treating someone special, why not go all out? And it doesn't have to be a special occasion, but if it happens to be a special occasion, that's great too. And I mean, you saw just how simple it was for me. Like, it was just store-bought noodles and sauce, and now we're going to finish by topping everything with the rest of the cheese. And I'm just going to spread it out as best I can so we get a nice mix of flavors. And what's nice about this is you can really make this your own. If you're like, no, I only like cheddar and I only like this kind of cheddar, then just make that kind of cheddar and use that. But if you're like me and you like all kinds of cheese, then go for it. Just watch for really strong flavored cheeses competing with flavor. Like, I wouldn't put like a camembert with the crab meat, for instance. And if you want to substitute the crab for tuna, that would be fun. That'd be great. Or even chicken. Chunks of chicken. Oh, there's a big chunk of cheese there. There's a lot of cheese here. This is going to be epic. Okay. And this is the Parmigiano Reggiano, which I always leave until the end. It's always nice. And just one last. Let's press it down a little bit. So this is going to go into my preheated oven of 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius for about, I'm going to say 15 minutes. And then we're going to pull it out and you're going to let it cool for about 10 because it's going to be piping hot at that point. And then we're going to dig into it. See you in a moment. This looks so good. It smells enticing in this room. And so I baked it for about 15 minutes in my oven. And in the last couple minutes, I put the oven on broil just to bring out some of these beautiful golden notes on the top of it. And it looks amazing. So I want to dig into it. I've got my knife. I've let it cool down, probably a little too long, but I wanted to be able to handle it. And I'm just going to take a slice. Look at the cheese. Oh my goodness. It sounds so good. Okay, and let's right there. Okay. And I've got a little bit that I spilled. There, I'll just tuck that right there. Let's see how it comes out. Oh, that came out really nicely. So let's set that aside. Pop that on my plate. Oh, that smells really good. So I want to give it a try. Let's see what our bechamel sauce is like, what our 5 cheese blend is, and how it is with the crab. I'll be honest, it's the breadcrumbs that make it. But everything is so good in this. I mean, I can taste the sauces is a dominant figure in it. But then you've got the subtle notes of crab, and then all the different cheese flavors are just really good. If you're looking for this recipe, you can visit glutenfreeguy.ca. You can also follow me on any of these social media channels. And coming up next is this. Thanks for watching. See you soon.